We're here today with Doug Shafer, who runs his family's Shafer Vineyards, one of the premier vineyards in America. Critic Robert Parker actually called it one of the greatest wineries in the world. He's also the author of this new book, A Vineyard in Napa. And Doug, the book opens, it's 1973. Your dad is a publishing executive in Chicago. He's 48 years old, and he decides that he wants to move to California and buy a vineyard. Do you remember how he broke this news to the family?
I do. Yeah, I remember it like it was yesterday. I'd heard he and Mom talking about California there in Napa Valley, but nothing really specific. And one night after dinner, it was early November, 1972, and right dinner time, he goes, "Well, kids, we've made a decision. We're moving to California, the Napa Valley." And we're like, "Really? And when?" And he goes, "In 3 months."
The Napa Valley we're used to, which is this very cosmopolitan place with world-class restaurants and these wonderful wineries, was that the Napa Valley you found when you got out there?
It was nothing. There were no restaurants. There were no high-end restaurants. There were no high-end hotels. There were no double yellow lines on the Silverado Trail or Highway 29 because there were no cars.
Even within this agricultural enclave, your dad found a pretty special piece of land. Tell us about that piece of land that he found.
What the property had, it had potential to plant hillside vineyards. Back in those days, no one planted grapes on the hillsides because growers get paid by the ton, and you get more tonnage on the flatlands. Also, hillsides produce half as much fruit, and they cost twice as much to develop.
Tell us a little bit about what's special about the weather and the soil and the climate there.
The district itself it's on the southern half or southern third of Napa Valley, so it's a cooler region. We get a wonderful influence from the San Francisco Bay. So we have cool mornings, cool nights, warm afternoons. You put those things together, a lot of volcanic soil, it ends up being a great place to grow Cabernet.
Everybody imagines buying into the dream. I mean, everybody at one time or another thinks, you know, man, maybe someday I'll make it and I'll move out to Napa Valley and buy in. Just can you give me an idea of what it would cost, what it cost maybe back in 1973 to buy a prime acre, plant it, all that kind of stuff, and what it might cost today?
It's a different ball game today. Back in '73, a planted acre of grapevines in good shape, irrigation, everything's going fine, getting a nice crop, would probably cost $4,000 to $6,000 an acre. Today, a planted acre in Napa Valley could range from $150,000 to $350,000 an acre.
So tell me about Shafer today now. How big are you? How many vineyards do you own? Where do you source the grapes?
Yeah, we produce about 34,000 cases of wine every year. We've been that size for about 20 years. A conscious choice not to make more. And our vineyard sources, we have about, we started out with 30 acres in 1973. We now have 210 acres throughout the valley, 4 or 5 different ranches. And that's about 85% of the grapes we crush.
Has Napa Valley and has Shafer reached their potential, or have we not yet seen the best wines we're going to see from Napa Valley and from Shafer Vineyards?
You haven't seen the best wines yet. I know for a fact. Technology. We have this new machine. We've had it 2 years. It's called an optical sorter. It's the coolest thing ever, where the fruit going into the tank is nothing but the individual berries, where 5, 6, or 8 years ago, there were some leaves and stems and things like that. And we've seen the
yellow jackets and lizards.
Yellow jackets, pieces of dirt, as just the way the equipment was, the processing equipment. Mm-hmm. And now it's like the clarity and cleanliness of the fruit that we're using to make, it's incredible, and you can taste it in the wines. The wines for the last 2 years, right now in the cellar, in the barrel, it's like, oh my gosh.
Wow.
They're better, they're cleaner, they're more focused. And before I came to see you, Elias, I was on the phone with Elias, and he's like, we have this brand new machine. It's pretty expensive, like over $100,000. It's a beautiful thing, but it's what we need to do to make the best grapes and the best wines. And he says, well, there's a new model out. And I said, what do you mean there's a new model? He goes, well, I think it's better, and I think we should get it. I said, well, wait a minute, how are we going to do that? He goes, well, we'll sell the old one. So he's working me on that one. But if that's what we need to do to make the best wines, we'll do it.